Hi, welcome to TVASIA Telugu. We are here to talk show with experts, and we're going to talk to our attorney Rahul V. He's Reddy and Neumann. So it's actually Trump versus Biden is our topic for today. And meekevarkaina edaina doubts unte immigration status gurinchi, alage mana kotta H1Bs, and there are so many interesting topics to be like we're going to share a lot of information with Rahul Reddy Garu. So we have Rahul Reddy Garu on our show. Hi, Rahul Reddy Garu. How are you today?
Thank you, Sophia, for inviting for the show. It's great opportunity to be with you and the TVASIA team. It's a great opportunity for me. As you know, people are in very serious discussion on the immigration. It's been a very hot topic. In the last elections, Trump administration has put immigration as a central agenda for winning the elections. And this time also, he seems to be keeping the central agenda. Biden is also keeping not as a main agenda. He has a lot of other things. But all the Telugu people and the Indian people are very concerned about is that which one is better. And some people feel Biden is better, some people feel Trump is better. There are certain advantages in both the people. For example, in general, though, the Republicans are very good in business immigration. They are not good in the immigration that is related to the family immigration, and especially for treating the undocumented aliens. They're not very good. The Republicans are. And the Democrats are normally very good overall in the comprehensive. That means that clubbing up all the immigration together. And they're very favorable to the family immigration. They are not that favorable to the business immigration. So if you have noticed that recently, the State Department has released the information that there's going to be 110,000 extra green cards to be given for the employment-based immigration. This is due to the Trump policies. I may or may not disagree, I may or may not agree with him, but that ended up extra 110,000. And that extra 110,000, Indians are going to get almost 100,000 green cards. So if it would have been a Democratic administration, we wouldn't have been getting that. Obviously, there are some advantages of Democratic administration. They would be normally more sympathetic to the family immigration. They wouldn't make the immigration policies changes so quickly, like the way Trump administration did. They have changed so many policies. They ran the immigration into bankruptcy. In fact, there is a furlough situation for the USCIS. 3/4 of the employees are expected to be furloughed unless the Congress comes to help. That is because of the Trump administration. So there are definitely some advantages of a Democratic administration. There is also some advantages of the Trump administration. Just because a new administration, Democratic administration comes in, don't expect all the problems to wither away. Some of the people at the time of Obama thought that, yes, every problem will be resolved if Obama comes to power. Guess what happened, Sophia? When Obama came into power, we as immigration lawyers used to call Obama as the king of deportation. That's how many deportations that he has done. So there is a mixed things. It's not that one administration is going to be very good, one administration is very bad. So yeah, we'll have to keep it. We'll have to keep, we'll have to see how the things turn out once they come into power.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope we'll be very helpful today with this show to the callers by giving them a lot of information. And I'm also thinking there are so many people with a lot of hopes and, so many questions in their mind. They don't know whom to talk to. So definitely our show is going to be very, very helpful for that. So let's take our first caller for today. Hello. So always make sure the voice, make sure there is no background voice or anything andi. Alage *6 వచ్చేసి mute లేదా unmute చేయడానికి మీరు కాల్ తీసుకోవచ్చు. So hello, our first caller. Hello. So I think first caller mute లో ఉన్నట్టున్నారు. You can always press *6. Hello. Please press *6 andi. Can you hear me? So yeah.
Yes.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, yes, madam. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you. Welcome to the show. How are you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm good. For you?
I'm good, Andy. So Rahul Garu is here if you have any questions. And like you said, we have an interesting topic also today. Hi, Rahul Garu.
Yep.
Here's our first caller.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Hi, Rahul sir. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, I'm able to hear clearly.
Sir, I have two questions. I know I asked sometime earlier back to, so recently Department of State made some relaxations on the H-1B travel ban, right? So on that note, I have a question. So I worked for another previous company until 2018, which has visa stamp until 2018. Then I moved to end client and I never had a visa stamping from there after changing the employer. So if the consulates are open, right, anywhere, so I mean, they are open at all, in case if they are open, or if we have visa slots available in October or November, in case in Mexico or Canada or somewhere in any, or India.
So right now, are you in USA right now?
Yes, I'm in USA.
Okay, you are on H-1B visa, right? You are working on a H-1B visa right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the executive order is not applicable if you are in USA on H-1B on June 24th of 2020. So if there are any consulate appointments available, which seems to be in India somewhere in February, we have noticed that some of the consulates are taking, especially from Toronto, and some US consulates in Canada are taking appointments in October and November. You can make an appointment and get the H-1 visa from there.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah, and the next question, I'll quickly jump to next question, sir. So next question is, I have a green card in the I-140 with my old employer back with priority date in EB2 2016. So now the end client now, the new company which I joined, they started the green card process, and I have done, I mean, they are done with the prevailing wage determination, and the recruitment process is done. But in the recruitment, I never noticed, and it was mentioned as a minimum education degree, as a bachelor's degree with 1 year of experience. So the law firm is applying that under EB3. They'll be doing an EB3 only. EB3. It master's degree.
I got them.
So can you suggest me, sir, if I can request them to start over again by changing the requirement to master's degree with 1 year of experience? Will that be eligible to be under EB2?
You are under the old assumption that the EB2 is better than EB3, though. That was history. If you look into past 1 year, the way EB2 and EB3s are moving, you will be very surprised that EB3 is actually doing much better, though. That's number one reason I may not want you to request them for EB2 instead of EB3. The second thing is, it is not your qualification that will determine EB2 or EB3. It is your employer's requirement that will qualify you in the EB2 and EB3. Just because you have a Nobel Prize doesn't mean that the position requires a Nobel Prize to work. So you may have a master's degree, but the company may not require master's degree for that particular position. That's another reason that I don't care whether it's an EB2 or EB3, because EB3 seems to be better right now under the conditions from past 1 year. The other thing is that because your employer may not like the idea of entertaining you under EB2. So if I were you, I would not request under EB2 at this time.
Oh, okay, sir. So, and the other question is, so generally, although I'm not eligible, but generally any leftover green cards, whatever you're talking about earlier, right? So those will be allocated to EB1 and then EB2, and then only if there are any leftover, only then only they will be assigned to EB3, or how does the process work?
No, that's not true. They will allocate according to the proportionate, according to the proportion at which the employment-based green cards are allocated. For example, for 140,000, we get 40,000 for EB1, 40,000 for EB2, and 40,000 for EB3. I'm not a very good mathematician. I would have been an engineer like you. But if you do the same calculation, that same proportion will, 110,000 will come to EB1 and EB2 and EB3. If I'm not mistaken, it should be around 30,000 each for each category.
Oh, that's perfect. That's good, sir. And can we retain the priority date from EB2 or EB2?
Yes, assuming that you have had the I-140 approved for more than 180 days and then it's not been withdrawn, even if it's been withdrawn afterwards, it doesn't matter. In your case, because your priority date is EB 2016, you seems to have no problem in retaining the EB, transferring from EB2 to EB3.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much
for the answers.
Thank you very much, Andy. I hope this was a great information. Like as you see, Rahul Garu, so if somebody wants to go for a stamping next month to India, say like they have approved for H1. So is that possible? Like these e-timing lo, like COVID-19 walla, chala mandi they are getting confused to travel back and forth. Ekkada apestara, ekkada emaipotunda ani. So what do you think about that?
Right now, if they do have a visa, there is no problem for them to travel. There are some COVID restrictions that they need to be careful, particularly if the person has traveled to China, and I think so there are some restrictions to Brazil, and some European countries restrictions are there. But if they do avoid those things, there is no travel restrictions for the people who have already have the visa to come in and go outside the country.
That's awesome. That's great, Andy. So we have our next caller. We'll take our next caller. Hello. So always unmute cheyalante call ki *6 press cheyandi, and alage make sure you are in somewhere where there is no background noise so that you can hear good. Hello, hi. Hello, can you hear me, Andy? Hello, hi. How are you today? Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
How are you doing today?
Okay. I'm doing good. Thank you.
So Rahul Garu is here to answer any questions you have. So Rahul Garu.
Sure. How can I help you?
Hi, Rahul. So my question is actually on behalf of my husband because he could not join. So my husband is on L1A and he is going to max out his 7 years in the first week of April 2021. His employer has been, his employer is going to file his green card I-140 soon, assuming he files by December. So there is clearly not enough time for the I-140 to be approved before he has to go back.
Yes.
But my question is, once he goes back to India, will that process, will that I-140 filing, will it continue once he goes back there?
If the employer wants it to be continued, they can continue it. But if the employer doesn't want to continue, they can withdraw. There is no restriction that if your husband goes to India, that the I-140 process has to be cancelled. There is nothing like that. They can continue with that process. But there's also one other good news that may be coming up. I was discussing with Sophia, I think her are expected to come. There is a chance that the priority date for EB1 might be current pretty soon. If that happens to you, even though the I-140 is not approved, you can file the adjustment of status 485 application before your before your 7-year expires. And if that, in that case though, you can stay in the country once you file the adjustment of status.
That's awesome.
Okay. But do you think it can become this current? Like if it's filed in December of 2020, before the March of 2021, it could be current?
Yeah, I was explaining the previous caller the same thing, that because of the proportionate amount of green cards that are to be given, EB1 is expected to get approximately 30,000 green cards though. Since there are no other country people waiting for the green card, it's only Indian nationals that are waiting for the green card. There is a good chance that at least 25,000 of those green cards will be granted to Indian nationals. So you have a good chance. That's my estimate.
Wow.
That's a great news.
Okay.
Like, I am already
I just have one very quick question. Yeah, I just have one very quick follow-up question. So before his I-140 approves, I am on H1 and my I-140 is approved. So can he go to H4 status and continue staying in the US while his I-140 is in the process of getting approved?
Absolutely. You're telling all this news after asking all the questions. I would apply for his H4 and H4 EAD right now, and I will have him continue working on the L1 until March of 2021. That will be a backup plan. Just in case if his I-140 gets approved and 485 application is filed, you can withdraw the H4. But if you have an I-140 approved and you're an H-1B, I would have a backup plan of filing a H-4 plus EAD. Yes, he can continue staying in the country on a H-4 when the I-140 is processed. And since you're telling that he's eligible for H-4 EAD, he can even continue working once his H-4 EAD approves.
Oh, I see. So this H4 and H4 EAD won't impact his L1
no,
filing
it will
of I-140?
not. No, ma'am, it will not impact, none whatsoever at all.
I see. Okay. This is all excellent news. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. We're glad we're able to help you out.
Thank you so much, Shandi. Thanks a lot. It's a great information. Yeah, thank you. And we will, before moving on to the next caller, you can always watch us every Sunday, Eastern time, 4 p.m. And we are there on YouTube and Facebook, TVASIA Telugu, and you can always subscribe us. And any questions, Meeru, every Sunday call cheyochu. Chala informative show idi. So, ippudu mana next caller, evaro chuddam. Hello. Hi. So, always me call unmute cheyadaniki *6. Yes. Hello. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, can I know your name?
I'm Balaji.
Hi, Balaji garu. How are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New Jersey.
Nice.
My friend referred this show.
So, Iroju,
okay.
yeah, Rahul garu, it's a very, Meeru chustunaru kada, show is very interesting. If you have any questions, he's here to answer, and it's very informative show. So, you can talk to Rahul garu now. Hi, Rahul garu. Yeah, you can take the call.
Thank you, Sophia, and thank you, Rahul, for giving this opportunity. I have a question. Actually, I'm in H-1B for last 4 years, and currently completed. What happened? My employer processing green card as of now. It's a permission process. Prevailing wages are in running. But what happened? The colleagues are having a problem with the audit with the same company. They get into audit for twice. What they are telling me to suggest to go to some other employer who is doing a perm process immediately. I have a confusion here, what to do, what not to do. Just need your suggestion.
It's going to be tough to estimate if the company has overall audit process. I mean, we have seen some major companies. I would not like to name the company though, but these are like companies that are top 3 companies from India. One of the company got into big trouble in 2008 recession period of time. All their firms got audited and got into trouble. They practically couldn't file a labor certification for a period of 1.5 years. If that is the case of your company though, I may suggest you that you move on to a different company because you have only 1.5 years to get the labor and I-140 approval. That's a very crunch time for you. If you keep on delaying with the current company, then you will not be able to file the 7th year extension. The second point is that if you get an audit by itself though, that is not a big problem as long as the company is able to file the labor certification. Here is the reason though. If you get an audit, if you don't get the labor approval, if you don't get the I-140 approval, you can still get the H-1B approval if you have the labor plus audit pending for more than 1 year. So if they are unable to file though, you cannot get the H-1B extension. But if they are able to file and if they're going through the audit system, if the labor certification continues to be there and they're willing to appeal any of the labor denials, then you will be able to get the 7th year extension.
Okay. So it's good to switch the employer as of now in my condition.
I mean, yeah. Instead of taking a gamble on the current company when the other people are getting audits, yeah, I may, if I were you, I will switch the company if I get an opportunity. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Rahul. Thank you for your advice. I am in deep trouble for the last 2 days. I don't know what to do, and I don't have such advice from a person who is. Yeah, thank you so much for your advice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Balaji Garu. That's why we are here first. So tune into TVASIA Telugu, YouTube lo unnamu and Facebook lo kuda unnamu. Subscribe cheyandi. And alage, I have a question, Rahul Garu. Like, what about these 3-year graduation people? Ante wala status enti? Can they apply for EB2, like EB3, what we are talking about right now? 3 years graduation వాళ్ళు కూడా try చేయొచ్చా అది?
Yeah. Normally 3 years, we strongly recommend to not file under EB2 under any conditions though. 3-year graduation, especially in Indian degrees, some of the degrees are 3 years. So we recommend strongly for them to file under EB3. EB3 has 2 categories. One, the position must require bachelor's degree, especially in USA, bachelor's degree means 4 years degree. Thus, there is a second option called the position may require only 2 years or more experience. We normally would like to shoot for the 2 years experience instead of bachelor's degree. In that way, they have more assurance of getting the EB3 approval. So EB3 under the 2 years experience skilled worker, that would be the best option for the people who have 3-year degree.
So that's awesome. That's a great information, Andy. So now let's take our next caller. Hello. So we are talking to our next caller. Always make sure there is no noise and *6 press cheyandi. Hi. Hello. Hi. Can you hear us, Andy? Hello. Hi. How are you, Andy?
Good.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. May I know your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Kishore. I'm calling from Utah.
Oh, hi Kishore Garu. So we have Rahul Reddy Garu who can answer your questions with regarding immigration and anything. And you can always subscribe us in YouTube and Facebook as well, TVASIA Telugu. So now taking over to Rahul Garu.
Yeah, sure. So నా క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే అండి, సో ఫ్రైడే డేట్స్ మూవ్ అయిపోయి అంటున్నారు కదా, సో ఎప్పుడు క్లారిఫికేషన్ వస్తుందండి? అది ఏ మంత్ లో క్లారిఫికేషన్ వస్తుంది?
The clarification is already been given by the Department of State that we have extra 110,000 green cards at a minimum. So how many more, we don't know yet, but 110,000 extra is there. The question is that when would we start moving the dates? They may not give all 110,000 green cards in the first month of the year. They normally will stagger it for the next 12 months. However, I want you to note down, the year of the immigration starts on October 1st, not on January 1st. So October 1st is almost only 1.5 months. We would be able to see some progress in the October visa bulletin, which is normally expected to release before somewhere around September 20th, we will come to know how the dates are going to move. So if I were you, I have an I-140 approval. I would not like to move to a different company in this time.
Okay, so అంటే నా priority date వచ్చేసి 2016 లో ఉంది.
That part I
confused అన్నమాట, full time తీసుకోవాలా?
Yeah, I am estimating 2012, but don't believe me. Don't believe me in this one, because I've gone 1,000 times in estimating wrongly how the priority dates move. That's my history. So I hope so in this particular situation I am wrong, and hopefully your 2016 is correct. It's very hard to judge if you have a good job. I will say that if the pay scale, if I were you, if the pay scale is about 30 to 40% more, I would definitely not move under the conditions. I will try to evaluate in the next 2-3 months. But if the pay scale is 100%, that's very tempting. Now, obviously, if the priority date is 2011, if the pay scale difference is 100%, I still won't move. But since it's 2016, that's up to you.
Okay. So, అంటే ప్రైవేట్ డేట్స్ అవి తెలియడానికి సెప్టెంబర్ వరకు వెయిట్ చేస్తే చాలా అండి, లేకపోతే అక్టోబర్ వరకు ఉండాలండి?
It could be very tough to tell, though. We would be able to, give an estimate. And as I said, that Rahul Reddy has been very famous for wrongly estimating the priority dates. I'm admitting it. But it's very hard the way it works, the numbers. It's very hard. I bought about 10,000 marbles to try to explain in why the priority dates move forward. How did the priority dates move backward? Remember, in March of 2010, the priority date, 2012, sorry. In March of 2012, the priority date was May 1st, 2010. Now we are in August of 2020. Now the priority date has moved back to 2009. I mean, look at it. How do they move back? It's a little bit confused to explain those. So we may not be able to clearly explain that by October or November we will be able to tell, but it will give an estimate of how we are proceeding.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in, sir.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you so much. That was a really informative show today. And always, we are on Dish TV and SlingTV, Sling Network, alage YouTube and Facebook lo kuda meer subscribe cheyochu. And my question was for like Rahul garu, okavela evarkaina process fast ga cheyalante, like H4 undi, H4. So is there any way or process to speed up? Like, is there any way where we can speed up the process as we see huge waiting?
Yeah.
I see somebody like, hello? Can you hear us, Andy? I think somebody's on our call. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, no? Yeah, I can
Hello.
hear you.
Hi, how are you doing
You're not very
today?
clear.
Hello? Hi, this is... Hello? Hi,
Can you hear me now?
Question for Rahul.
Yes, Rahul Garu is here. And yeah, Rahul Garu, she has some question for you.
Sure.
Hi, my husband is on H1B and he got laid off on April 3rd. His employer had found another employer was going to transfer his H1B, and then they put the position on hold. But they told him that they were filing his H1 transfer. Then after they put the position on hold, his 60 days has passed. So can I file the H4? Can I file the H4 visa externally, not from the lawyer at my company? Because my company said that they will not file for H4. And also, if he does the non-pro-tunc H4 now, does he have to leave the country because his 60 days has passed?
You should have taken the decision very early. Should have followed our TVASIA coming to frequently, though. Here is the reason, though. The 60 days has already passed. You should have filed a H4 as a backup earlier itself, though, instead of waiting to see if the company will file a H1B. And if by any chance the company files a H1B, you can always withdraw the H4. The problem now is that since he already crossed the 60 days, if you file a H4 application, they're taking almost 8 months to adjudicate the H4 application. And after 8 months, they don't agree with our non-protunc argument and they deny the H4. He would have been out of status for a period of more than 180 days. That will have negative consequences in the long run. Although I would recommend that you can file the non-protunc H4 application, I want your husband to leave the country within 180 days, probably at 160th day, after his 60 day has expired, which will be from June onwards, because your husband got laid off in April. From June onwards, you count 160 days, he should leave the country and he should apply the visa stamping outside the country and get the stamping and come back. Not wait for the H4 to be approved.
Oh, and then if the position, that previous position, they unhold it, then he would be able to move back on H1?
Previous position is with the previous company or the current company that has put it on hold? Which one are you speaking about?
A new company which was ready to file his H1 transfer.
Still the same problem for the H4 will come for the new company too. The reason is it already crossed 60 days since your husband got laid off. So the new company still have to file a H1B in the consular processing. That means that he has to go and get the stamping in India and can't take any risk staying in the United States.
So there is no way he can continue to stay.
I do not want your husband to risk his future by continuing to stay for a long period of time. waiting for the non-proton argument to be approved.
So if he leaves now, then he can, then he would still have to come back under the non-proton H4 only. No other way to come back.
No, there is no. If a person is not in a lawful status for less than 180 days, he can go and apply for the H4 visa, and they normally will not give any trouble. Unlike here, where you have to make an argument, there you don't have to make much arguments. They do give the H4 visas very frequently. Okay.
That's a really great information, Andy. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rahul.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. Alage, I want to tell you that tune into TV Asia Telugu. We are on Dish Network, Sling, WorldBBTV. Alage website, Sochesi, YouTube, and Facebook. And yeah, coming back, I was having a question to ask, but I know we took a call after that. So I have a question, Rahul Garu, like can unmarried child over like 21 years get a green card with US citizens' parents? Like, can they like while filing I-30 for parents?
Yeah. The unmarried kid under 21 comes under immediate relative. There is no backlog.
Okay. Okay.
That's even though Trump has put in a ban for the family immigration, there is no ban on the immediate relative that is under 21 unmarried children. If they are in USA, they can file an I-130 and adjustment of status. And if they are also outside the country, especially if they're in India, they can file an I-130 and get the green card too.
Wow, that's great. Good to know. Thank you for that. And now let's take our next caller. Hello. Hi. Hello. Always please press *6, Andy, to unmute. Hello. Can you hear me? I think, yeah. So there is a lot of, can you please press like *6 to unmute? Also, you always can call us on 866-882-887 if you have any questions. Hello. Hello. Welcome to TV Asia Telugu. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to Talk Show with Experts. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Today we have Rahul Garu. If you have any questions, may I know your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Yeah, my name is Sunny. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I have a question to Rahul.
Sure.
Yeah. Hi, Rahul.
Yes.
Yeah, Rahul, my question was like, recently my H-1B amendment extension got approved with an employer A. So right now, with the same project, I have hard time with the employer A. So since with the same project, I just started my H-1B transfer to an employer B with the same project. So in a premium processing. So and my previous employer returning me, he will revoke the visa and blah, blah, blah. So do I have to face any issues with my employer?
The blah, blah, blah thing, I want you to explain it though.
Okay. Yeah, sure, Rahul. So actually he's trying to say, he's going to revoke my visa. So when I do the H-1B transfer with the new employer B, so I already got a receipt number, which is in the premium processing. So my case was sent to the Nebraska.
Yeah, I got the blah, blah thing. I will explain what the blah, blah thing is. That you're not trying to explain what he threatened you. Some of the companies will have a non-compete agreement that you cannot join the end client, you cannot join the vendor though. If you have signed any such contract with your company though, there is a good chance that they can enforce that contract if you are joining the end client and or the vendor. So I'm a bit worried about what that blah, blah, blah is. If he is revoking the H-1B, I have no problem with it. As far as the immigration law is concerned, you joining the end client is not a problem. But if there is any contract involved not allowing you to join the end client, that becomes a problem. He cannot restrict you to join any company, but he can restrict you to join the end client. And there is a good chance that he can enforce that contract.
Yeah. So basically, Rahul, we don't have any non-compete agreement exist in between the vendor or employer.
So what else is it threatening?
What
else is threatening you? You told me 2 times it's a visa revocation. Of course, he's obligated to do the visa revocation. That's not a problem at all. What else is it threatening with?
But he's not, because previous amendment and extension got approved, he's not even sharing the physical H1 approval copy to me in order to extend my driver's license. And he's threatening me. And he collected the employer tax from me as well. And I just myself given the money to him for filing an H1B for 3 times.
First thing is that I want you to speak with a lawyer, put the phone off and speak with a lawyer. Because if you are contributing towards the crime of giving the money to the employer, that's wrong thing though. You should not have done that. I would also suggest that there is something called WH4 thing where you can complain to the Labor Department that you have paid the money to the company, and then the WH4, Google it, WH4 Department of Labor. Normally, I do not even, I recommend people not to file it because it may completely take the company to a bankruptcy and you're not going to get your money. That's the problem that I have. You can send a threatening letter to that company. Look, give my money back that I paid you, which is wrongfully said to you. Give my money back. And if he doesn't, you send a copy of the WH4 saying that, look, I'm going to send this to the Department of Labor if you don't give it. And they normally honor that. They take it very seriously when they say WH4 form, because they immediately go to lawyers and then they get the information. Whoops, they're in big trouble. But I do not want you to discuss any further on this TV about the money that you paid. I would want you to discuss with a lawyer on that, okay? Because you're also contributing to the bad things your employer is doing.
Yeah. One last thing, Rahul, before I let you go. So if my employer, he's threatening me, if he files any, lawsuit case on me.
You speak Telugu? Okay. I don't know if there is any contract for non-compete agreement, okay? If the non-compete agreement is there, though, there is a chance that he may sue you, and you may have to leave this company that you joined right now. But if that is not there, okay, if that is not there, a person who is అద్దాల మేడలో ఉన్న అతను నిన్నొచ్చి బెదిరించిననుకో నీ చేతిలో రాయి ఉన్నది. There is nothing you have to lose, only he can lose. So if you complain to the immigration, there's a good chance that he'll be in trouble. If you complain to the Labor Department, he'll be in trouble. I don't think so he can do anything. The only thing that we notice what employers do is the non-compete agreement, because that can be strictly enforced. Okay? All the other things, you leave the company, I'm going to do that. There's nothing you can do. This is a free country. You can leave the company and join the company. And the companies are also at liberty to let people go as long as they don't do based on discrimination. Otherwise, they can let employees go, and you can also move from one employer to another employer. The only problem is if you're going to his client, that can be enforced if there is a signed agreement. Okay?
Got it. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rahul.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Andy. It's like a really great information, Andy. Asal Rahul garu, meer chepparu kada, meer Telugulo maatladutunte, it's like really impressive. Like dhairyam ichchinattundi. Like there are so many people, like you say, ataniki elagaithe threaten chesaro. I think there are so many people out there who really need this. Like ee dhairyanni, like lawyer tho maatladadamu, correct mana process edaithe meer information istunaro. There are so many people, chala questions. Like I really appreciate that, and I'm so happy నేను ఈ రోజు షోలో ఉన్నందుకు నాకు ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ వస్తున్నట్టుంది.
Yeah. One of the thing I want to point out, there is also USCIS has created a separate email. If there is any discrepancies like the way that gentleman is speaking about, they can send an email to the USCIS, and believe me, the action comes so quickly though. Especially the Department of Labor, if in a complaint, the WHO, they are going to take action. But the problem sometimes what happens is that if they take the action, the company is going to go bankrupt. So I normally, to my client, I say, first I want to get my client's money and then let him go to bankruptcy.
అది కరెక్ట్ అండి, అది కరెక్ట్. చాలా లైక్ ఐ కెన్ సీ దిస్ ఇస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. చాలా మందితో నా ఫ్రెండ్స్ కి కూడా ఇలాగే జరిగింది రీసెంట్లీ, అండ్ ఐఎమ్ డెఫినెట్లీ గోనా టెల్ హర్.
Sophie, I also want to discuss with you on there is a rumor flying around that the EB3 is going to be current for all nationals because the nurses belong to that particular category. In the part of the video I watched that, Sophia, is that they're telling that the extra 110,000 green cards were being confirmed by the Department of State, which is actually true. But they're saying that all those things will be given to EB3. There is nowhere in the law that says that all those things can be given to EB3 though. So I'm just disputing that all those things will come to EB3 and EB3 is going to be current. That is something that I don't know where that particular lawyer has got that information, but we are not agreeing with that particular opinion though. Also for the audiences though, the first audience especially, what happens is that if by any chance EB3 moves better, that means if the EB3 becomes current also, okay, just in case, all the EB2 people can convert into EB3 in one single day.
Wow.
In one single day.
Wow.
So they don't have to do anything. All they have to do is that they have to go to the employer. If the employer says, okay, they can convert into EB3 and then file the adjustment of status immediately. Now, a lot of people will say to convert from EB3 to EB2, the minimum time period that it will take is 1 year. But the time period to convert from EB2 to EB3 is only 1 day. So they can convert. So if by any chance that rumor becomes current, if you guys are already on EB2, you don't have to worry about it. As long as your employer cooperates with you, you can convert your EB2 into EB3 and file an I-140, and you can file the adjustment of status at the same time when the I-140 was pending. I was discussing about the other lady with the EB1 I-140 is pending, same thing.
Yes.
If the EB3 I-140 is pending and you're porting the date from EB3 to EB2, when it becomes current, you can file the adjustment of status. I want all the audience, because there's a lot of rumors flying around on that.
Yeah, that's true, Andy. It's a really great information. Manaki ikkada there is one YouTube question anmata. Sai Hosuru Ochesi, he's asking that my EB2 priority date is April 2012. Is family based on use like 100K green cards diverted to unemployment based as you were expected to be happen? Is it possible my date becomes current? Question mark. This is his question.
Did you say what date he is? He did not.
April 2012. Priority date is April 2012. But
yeah. He was speaking about moving into the family based into the employment based. There is a good chance that the priority date of him could be current in the 2021, starting from October 1st. We can expect that. There's a good chance for it. It is not 100,000, it's 110,000 as of now. And that number can only go up based on how the things are going on. It may not go down.
That's amazing, Andy. That's good to know. Now let's take our next caller. Hello? Hello, can you hear me, Andy? Always press star and 6 to unmute your call so that you can be on the show. Hello? Hi. I think the caller is having disturbance with the call. So yeah, before the caller gets in, there is another question, Rahul Garu, like H1B lottery applications like are they gonna like are we gonna like in coming weeks are they gonna pick up, or how it is? H1B lottery.
We have seen the first lottery, which was prescribed from March 1st to March 20th. And then we have been allowed to file from April 1st to April 30th. We had another lottery that was conducted recently. But to have a third lottery, I'm not expecting any third lottery to come in, Sophia.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. So we have our next caller, Andy. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Welcome
hi,
to
Rahul.
Talk Show with Experts.
Hi, Sophia. I'm good.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you, Andy? Rahul Garu is here to answer your questions. And
Thank you. Hi, Rahul. This is Ram. I'm on my third year of H1B and working for a company A, okay? And I-140 has been approved for more than 300 days. And now I got an offer from company B, and my currently H4 and H4 EAD are in progress with company A. So what happens if I move to company B if my employer withdraws my I-140?
Your I-140 withdrawal will not have any impact whatsoever at all on the H4 plus EAD. Though I'm a bit worried sometimes the officers are taking the H1 withdrawal wrongly. I would strongly recommend when you move to this new company, don't rely on the old H4 plus EAD approval. I want you to keep the, I want you to file the H4 plus EAD approval. I would also do something called interfiling. So I would send a notification to the previous H4 and EAD application officer saying that, look, don't deny this H4 plus EAD. My husband has already filed a H1B for a different company. Here is the approval or receipt notice of a different company. Please adjudicate it based on that H1B approval. We have noticed that sometimes the previous company that H4 and EAD gets approved, but obviously the second company H4 plus EAD will get approval. But I don't want to take a chances. I want to do something called interfiling. After you get the H1B approval from company B, I would do the interfiling so that your wife's first H4 plus EAD gets approval without any problem.
Okay. So currently, my company B has already initiated the transfer and they have put it in premium. So you're asking the company B should do a interfiling so that we will not have any issue.
First,
on that, right?
Have you filed the H4 plus EAD with company B?
Yes.
Good. Now you can, once you get the approval though, go for the interfiling with the company A, H4. It may not be done by your company, it should be done by you, but the company wants to do, they can do it too.
Okay. So I need to consult the attorney for this, right? They can do it.
You just did it. you can do it. All you need to do is that use the word interfiling, okay? And then send the H1B approval and just write a letter by your wife saying that, look, my husband has moved to a different company. Here is the H1B approval. Interfiling, that means that you're wanting to insert this particular H1B approval to the previous H4. That's all you need to do. Okay?
Okay. And Rahul, one more question. Since I'm on third year of H1B, I'm not even used my I-140, right? So if they withdraw, will it impact on my other extensions like 6th year extension and all? Like if I, if my current company don't file the perm and if it's for some reason it might be delayed or something like that. So can I use the same I-140 for?
You can use the I-140 for your life, not 10 years, not 20 years, for your life. You can use, so you're one of the smart guy that I'm speaking on the TV today, that you got your labor approved way earlier instead of waiting until the end, labor and I-140 approval, and you're past that mark. And you said that the I-140 was been approved for 300 days, which is actually more than 180 days. So now this I-140 is tattooed to your face. There is nothing anybody can do to undo it. So this will continue for your life. You can move to company B, you can move to company C, you can move to company D, and you can do whatever you want. Your wife will keep on getting H4EAD approval under the current law. Unless some law changes though, you can use that I-140 for your life.
Okay, thanks Rahul. And I do have one question on my same thing, because one of my friends got a RFP saying that he was on 5.5 years on H1 and he had in the same company and he moved to a different company and they revoked the I-140. Okay, so I-140 was already approved for more than 2 years and the company withdrawn it. Sorry, so. Yeah. And he got a RFP during.
We have seen special. Wait. When the Texas Service Center started accepting the H1B applications, there were some new officers who did not understood the law about the I-140 withdrawal though. But right now, all those officers are well trained. We are not seeing those kind of RFPs anymore. And what I said.
Yeah, you're correct. It was with the Texas Service Center only.
Yeah. What I said to you is the law, not my opinion. Okay? So it's enforceable.
Yeah, let me read out that RFP what he got. He was told
this
that
is not the right.
H1
This
was,
is not the right.
Yeah.
This is not the right time to read out, sir. I know what it is. I've seen those RFPs. Believe me, I have seen them. Okay.
Thank you
okay, so you
much.
mean to say I'm good for
Yes, sir.
approvals, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, only interfiling I need to do. Yeah, thanks,
Thank you.
Rahul. Thanks,
Thank you.
Sophia.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you so much. And thank you, Rahul, again, for being so informative for people. So we'll go and jump on to our next call now. My next caller, hello. Hello. Always please press *6 to unmute your call. Can you hear me now? Hello. Hi, Andy. Welcome to TVASIA Telugu Talk Show with Experts. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. My name is Kamran, and I have a couple of questions.
Sure, Mr. Kamran. Rahul Garu is here to answer your questions. So, Rahul Garu, you can answer.
Hi, Rahul. So basically, with the recent reselection for H1B lottery, my case has been selected. And my employer is planning to submit all my required documents by 31st of this month. That is the information. So my question is, when can I expect my approval, denial, or any decision on my case?
Is he filing in premium processing or normal processing?
No, he is normal processing.
Well, it may take anywhere between 6 months to 8 months for you to get an adjudication on that. And if there is an RFP, it will take a longer period of time. Kamran, if I were you, I would volunteer to pay the premium processing and get it approved or adjudicated faster.
Okay, got it. So what I have heard, like there is no premium processing due to corona issue.
Sir.
So is it accurate?
No, that is not accurate as of today. There are some proposals to take the premium processing out later time, but right now, as of today, no. Premium processing is open for the new quota cases. All cases.
Awesome.
All
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kamran, for tuning in.
And one more last question. Let's suppose I got an approval and I got 797 approval notice. Is there any way that I can invite my parents to US with that approval notice and not going for the stamping?
Your approval notice has nothing to do with your invitation to the parents. Your parents are visiting on a B2 visa. There is no qualification required for you to have invitation sent to them though. So you can send to them right now on F1 visa. You know, just because you got a H1B doesn't mean that you like your mom and dad more than when you're on F1 visa. So you can invite them right now. No restriction to have a H1B.
Got it. Thank you so much, Rahul. It was so helpful. I appreciate your help.
Thank you, Kamran.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you. Thanks a lot for calling. And also, again, tune into TVASIA Telugu. We are on Dish Network, Sling, WorldBBTV, అలాగే websites వచ్చేసి YouTube and Facebook. So, టాక్ షో విత్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ ఈ రోజు నేను నిజంగా రాహుల్ గారు చూస్తున్నాను, నేను లిటరల్లీ మీరు ఇచ్చే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇస్ సో ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్. లైక్ లిటరల్ గా ఈ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ చాలా హెల్ప్ఫుల్ ఉంటుంది. నేను కూడా లైక్ ఐ సెడ్ మా ఫ్రెండ్ కి కూడా నేను ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వగలుగుతాను. అండ్ ఐ హావ్ అనదర్ క్వశ్చన్ రాహుల్ గారు. లైక్ వీళ్ళ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్ ఎవరైనా యుఎస్ సిటిజన్ ఉంటే, లైక్ యు నో ఇఫ్ మై బ్రదర్ ఇన్ లా వాజ్ యుఎస్ సిటిజన్, కెన్ హీ స్పాన్సర్ ఫర్ లైక్ మై కిడ్స్ అండ్ మై ఫ్యామిలీ? లైక్ కెన్ హీ బి అ స్పాన్సరర్ ఒకవేళ అతను యుఎస్ సిటిజన్ అయి ఉంటే?
If your brother-in-law, I'm assuming that means that he is your husband's brother, is a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
He can file for your husband, and he can include you and your kids, your husband's kids, into an application. But there is a waiting period of approximately 16 years. And in the interim period, you have to maintain your legal status to get the green card. So it's not that he can apply and you can stay in the country. He can definitely apply, but there is a waiting period of 16 years or so to get a green card.
Oh my God, that's a quite long time.
Yeah.
But that's a good information again, Andy. Thank you so much. So now let's take our next caller. Hello. Hello. Always please press star and 6 to unmute your call. Welcome to Talk Show with Experts. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Andy. So if you have any questions, manaki roju Rahul garu chesi show lo, like he's being really informative. So you can talk to Rahul garu regarding your question.
Thank you. Hi Rahul, I'm calling from Chicago. So I am on H1B and I have a stamped visa, and my wife is on H4 visa. She also has a stamped visa. But we are planning to enroll her in a university for master's course. But given all the situations, like what is your suggestion? Should we put H4 to F1, or should we see if something opens in the next 2-3 months and go somewhere and get stamping like India or Canada? Like we are aiming for winter, like she has admit for fall, but we are deferring it for winter quarter, which starts in January. So what is your suggestion? So should we do H4 to F1?
There is no restriction for her to join the college on H4. Now the question is that, is F1 better or H4 better to continue? And there are some advantages, of course, the OPT and STEM extension. And also while she's going to the college, she can do some internships on the F1 and may not be able to do it on H4. That's a minus point though. But there is another problem though. When you go to the consulate for getting the F1 stamp, there is a chance that she might not get a F1 approved. We're noticing too many F1 denials for the H4 visas. You may ask the question, why would they deny a F1 visa for H4? Each visa person, applicant, must have an intention for that particular visa though. In a H4 visa, her intention is to join, and maybe she has an ulterior intention that your family might get a green card and stay in USA forever. And that's not a prohibition for H4. It's called dual intent visa. You can have both intentions and it's not going to be a denial for you. But when it's come to the student visa, the person's intention is after she completes her education, she must go back to the home country, especially when the husband is working in the United States. When she is on H4 for a couple of, for some period of time though, the consulate may believe that she's not going to leave the country and go to her home country, which is India. So they may deny the F1 visa. You may even consider filing the change of status from H4 to F1, which has a good chance of success as compared to the going the consulate. But still, to change the status, though, it may take approximately 1 year to change the status from H4 to F1.
Okay, but the only problem with H4 to F1 would be she would not be able to travel outside of USA, right? Until and unless she gets her own H1B.
You're absolutely right. If she travels outside and she has to get the stamping, that is never going to, the probabilities of that is only 5% that she's going to get F1 stamping.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Rahul, sir. Thank you, Sophia.
You have to pick the better of one of the evil here if you choose to go to F1 visa. I personally would like to have my I-140 to be approved and my wife stay on the H4 EAD. That's what I would like.
Yeah, so I spoke to my company, but like the time frame from getting the I-140 to her H4 would be at least 1.5 to 2 years, right?
Yeah, by the time she gets the OPT also, it will take more time than that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll think. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you so much for calling. And also, please tune into TVASIA Telugu. We are on Dish Network, Sling, WorldBBTV. Alage okasari Telugulo kuda cheppestanu. Tune into TVASIA Telugu. Memu Dish Network lo unnamu, Sling lo unnamu, WorldBBTV lo kuda unnamu. Websites vachesi Facebook and YouTube. You can always subscribe us. So, ippudu Rahul garu, we have like a YouTube question anamata. So, YouTube lo manaki live ga 𝗪𝗪𝗀 vachesi, he's asking us, like, I got laid off for 3 days ago. I got laid off 3 days ago on my last date on October 19th. My I-140 got approved in Feb 2015. If I move back to India, can a potential new employer extend my new H1B without the lottery so I can return? ? That's the question.
Anytime. Since his I-140 was been approved for more than 180 days, he can move to India. He can come back in 6 months. On H1B without subject to cap, he can come back in 1 year without subject to cap. He can come here after 10 years without subject to cap. He can come here after 20 years without subject to cap. Absolutely no problem. And whenever the new company intends to file a perm and I-140 application, the previous I-140 prior to date can be ported with no problem whatsoever at all into the new company, and he will be able to port the date from 2015 to the new company.
That's really, really great, Andy. Rahul Garu, thank you. And now let's take our next caller at Talk to Show with Experts. Hello. Hello. Always please press star and 6 to unmute your call, Andy, so you can get into the show and we can start discussing. Hello.
Hello. My name is Ram.
Hi, Ram. How
I
are
was
you
hearing
doing?
the Rahul show. Yeah, it's good. It was very informative. My question to Rahul is, I'm in US for about now 11 years, and my I-140 is approved, and my wife is also, used to be in US, but during the visa transfer from company 1 to company 2, her visa got denied, and she had to go to India in this, the beginning of this year, January of 2020. Now, my question to Rahul is, then, the company filed for H1 subject to cap exemption petition, and that petition was approved. Now, my question is, now that these consulates are closed, and now on August 12th, we heard that there are some exceptions to the proclamation. Will she be eligible for going for stamping for the emergency appointment over there on the basis of family separation? Because my son, who is a US citizen, is staying with my wife there, and my daughter, who is a US citizen, is staying with me here in New Jersey. So just thought, what would be the options for us?
There are two things that you're asking. Is that emergency appointment for the H4 or H1 are we speaking about?
H1. I mean, her H1 petition was approved for, I think, 3 or 4 years.
So there are so there is two things. One is to get away from the executive order is one question. Second question is the emergency thing. As far as the executive order getting away is, if she falls into the criteria that were been given, she can get the exemption from the executive order. But I will, instead of going and doing all that drama of getting an exemption from the consulate that she has exempted from the executive order, I would do an easy thing called let her come here on H4, and once she comes here on H4, you can convert to H4 to H1. That will be easier. You got my point?
Oh. So, I mean, if she's coming on H4, the problem here is my employer is the same for both of us. I work for company A and she also works for company A.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because if we have to get her an exemption from the from the executive order, we have to get an exemption, which is a process involved in it, and we don't know how long the process is going to take. Is that right? But she's already exempt if she's applying for H4 visa. Why delay? Get her H4 and come into the country. Period.
So after she comes on H4, then,
you can do
sorry
H4
to stop you. So if she comes...
She can convert into H4 to H1 in premium processing.
For the same company, or let's say even if it's a different company, the H1 subject to cap?
It's same company or different company. It doesn't matter.
My question is, okay, it doesn't matter. That's what, because, I mean, now that if we are taking the H4 route, now she has to file the change in status I-539, and then once that is approved, she can come. But is it worth doing all of that? Because we are only, I mean, the proclamation is only till December 31st, right? Is it worth doing all of that?
Where is I-539 coming? There's no I-539 for
I mean, the change of status, right? Because she is on H1 right now, right? Or because her visa was denied, so she doesn't have any status. Is that the statement?
She's in India. For her to get a H4 visa, she just needs to go to US consulate and get the H4 and come into the United States. Once she comes into the United States, she files I-1. She doesn't need a H4 approval. She just needs your H1B approval and a marriage certificate. That's it.
Oh, okay. I thought because she was earlier on the day of leaving, she was on H1, right? On the day when her visa got denied. Okay.
You should have got her here in January of 2020 itself on H4. When she left the country, she should have gone back. Come here back on H4.
Okay, how would it impact? Because we both have our I-140s approved. She has her own I-140 that's approved. With
her basis,
it doesn't matter.
Her basis for H4 has nothing to do with I-140. She's happily married with you, and you are on H1B. You know, sometimes that happily gets into trouble, but that's okay. That's all. You don't need anything to worry. All she needs to be is that she needs to be married with you happily. And that's it. There's no other qualification required. Whether she has an I-140 approval, whether she has a H1 denied, all those things doesn't matter. She comes here in H4. So now I want to use that aspect to come into, you should have done that in January 2020. Now I want you to do it in August of 2020. Now, the second question that you asked is she has 2 kids who are US citizens. Believe me, that is not an excuse right now to get an emergency appointment though, because almost 90% of the people who are stuck there, or at least 80% of the people, will fall into the same criteria, and they are not getting their emergency thing. The emergency requires something spectacular, like for example, you know, some family tragedy, or maybe a nurse or a doctor who is treating the COVID patients. There's got to be something emergency. So that's the only problem I have. Try to get the H4. Don't go for H1. You wasted already 8 months on trying to get a H1. Don't try to get the H1. Get a H4. Get her here, and then convert into H4.
So what happens to her reapproved H1 subject to cap H1, right? So if she comes on H4, that petition that was approved in May will become invalid?
You already wasted 10 months because of that. Why do you want? She comes here, she applies for change of status again. And she will not be subject to cap.
Got it. She will not be subject to cap because she has I-140 approved, and of course, she had a H1. Okay, got it.
Getting smarter now.
Got it. Okay. And one last question is, I am on H1 right now, and I right now, my I-140 is January 2014, Jan 24, 2014. So is it, and on EB2, is it, any risk basically if I'm switching employer? Because right now I'm doing like a managerial position, and I'm getting like a bigger position.
I want you to go back to the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes of our video here. Want to listen some of the comments. I don't want to go over again. It's going to be your judgment call. If I were you, unless I'm getting like 100% more, I would not move the company right now, because there is some chance that the prior date might become current for you. Some chance, not a good chance, but some chance.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Rahul. That was very informative.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We in TVASIA, I myself have gone through the immigration process, and most of the TVASIA people, we have gone through the process. So we understand the pain. Please tune in for every week at 4 p.m. Eastern time, guys, for the same questions. Sophia?
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you so much. It's really informative. Like we said, please tune into TVASIA. We are on Dish Network, Sling, WorldBBTV, alage websites vachesi YouTube and Facebook. So, inta mandi callers call chesaru. Naaku inko question undindi, Rahul garu. Like evaraina, like they are on green card EAD ankondi. Like what are the basic wait time processing? Like everybody is so frustrated. They wait for their green cards with their whole heart. Somebody wants to visit their families. So I have a friend who got married to a US citizen. She's an Indian friend. So she is on her green card EAD, and she's waiting for, she got married in like 2018. It has been like years. She's waiting to hear from USCIS. Like, do you think it will take more time, more months to get her green card, or what exactly it's going to be?
Right now, because of the COVID situation, there's been a lot of delay in the immigration though. So it may take a little bit longer time. If it's 2018, hopefully she filed at the end of it. They are taking approximately around 2 years period for them to get the green card though. Across the United States, that's the time that's taking. There are some cases where the officers have been efficient, and I've seen that some cases where they're getting the green card anywhere between 8 months to 16 months. But the period of time that is given on the website is approximately, it's more than 2 years right now that they're taking for them.
Yeah, it's kind of really taking long time, but I think, but can she still travel and come back? And she has a thing on the EAD, which says not for re-entry on US and JPC.
There are 2 kinds of EADs. When she filed her status, she could have filed EAD and advance parole together. I don't know why she filed it without advance parole. If she filed without advance parole, there might be some reason. Maybe she didn't maintain the status properly. That may be the reason why she didn't file advance parole. But if the EAD says that it's not allowed
To re-entry.
to come back into the country, then then she cannot use that. There is something called advance parole. It's called I-131. She can file an application, and once that is approved, she can travel. She should have done that at the time when she filed the green card, but she can do it right now also.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Rahul Garu. Definitely, it's very informative. Like, నేను ఇక్కడ host గా ఉన్నాను, but also I'm using my own questions also. That's really nice. Thank you so much. So now we'll jump on to our next caller. Hello. Hello. Please press *6 to unmute your call, Andy. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Talk Show with Experts. How are you? Where are you calling from, Andy?
Hi, Sophia. నా పేరు మహేష్ అండి. టెక్సాస్ నుంచి కాల్ చేస్తున్నాను.
That's great. So Rahul Reddy Garu is here if you have any questions, Andy.
Yeah, hi Rahul garu. Sophie and Rahul garu, మీకు వినాయక చవితి శుభాకాంక్షలు.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Same to you.
సార్ రాహుల్ గారు, మీ షోస్ ఫాలో అవుతాను. నేను నా I-140 గురించి మా పాత ఎంప్లాయర్తో నా 2016లో I-140 అప్రూవ్ అయింది. సో నేను రీసెంట్గా ఎంప్లాయర్ చేంజ్ చేశాను. అది పాత ఎంప్లాయర్తో అప్లై చేసిన I-140 రివోక్ అయిందో లేదా అని తెలుసుకోవడానికి FOI అప్లై చేయమన్నారు. మీరు FOI అప్లై చేశాను, రిప్లై వచ్చింది. I-140 ఇనిషియల్ గా పాత ఎంప్లాయర్ ఎట్లా అప్లై చేశాడో డాక్యుమెంట్స్ అన్ని వచ్చినాయి, ఎక్సెప్ట్ ద ఫైనాన్షియల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ పేజ్ అది ఒక్కటి రాకుండా మిగతావన్నీ వచ్చినాయి. And also it has a stamp like saying approved and December 2016 is been approved. So does that mean bottom, like
at the bottom of the first page, of the I-140 form, it should say that it's been withdrawn. If it doesn't say that it's been withdrawn, you are good. That's not withdrawn.
Okay.
Normally at the bottom it says approved. At the bottom it says approved. At bottom right hand corner of the I-140, it says approved. On the top of it, it says it's been withdrawn, and they will write the date when it's been withdrawn. If you don't see that at the bottom right hand corner, that means it's not been withdrawn.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I don't see anything like it's been withdrawn on the bottom right.
So that's corner. Good. You're good. It's only on the first page of the I-140. You don't have to look into any other page.
Okay, the first page of the I-140. Okay, yeah, it's not there, sir. And top left corner, right corner lo it's approved and date undi, sir, actually. So
yeah. So if it doesn't say withdrawn, you're good.
Yeah, second question, sir. EB2 ante koncham special category, like 5 years of experience and masters can. You told like we can convert from EB2 to EB3 within a day.
Yes.
Right. If it's become EB3 becomes current, there is an option.
As long as
EB2
employer is cooperative.
EB2 and the high skilled and EB3 is like a little comparatively low skilled. Right? So will USAS ask like why you are demoting this person rather than promoting? Because EB3 to EB2 is like promoting. You can show like I am promoting this person to a higher position.
No.
But EB2 to EB3 is like you're demoting.
There is no promotion or demoting. It's like this simple question.
Okay.
A person is a billionaire. Okay. The person is a billionaire. Now the question is that is he a millionaire?
Yeah.
Is he a millionaire? Okay. So obviously the answer will be yes. I mean, you can't say no to the question. So when it comes to the question here, so that's so easy for you to explain. A billionaire is always a millionaire. Not all millionaires are billionaires, but yes, not all billionaires are millionaires. Okay? That's simply.
Yeah.
So now if there is a club that says that only millionaires are invited, will this billionaire be invited? Yeah, he is already in.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
That's
okay. Sir, one last question. నేను మా సిస్టర్ గురించి మీ దగ్గర కౌన్సిలింగ్ తీసుకున్నాను సార్. యాక్చువల్గా తన నాయిడ్ వచ్చింది, తనకి కౌన్సిల్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ లో రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తే అప్రూవ్ అయింది. She's waiting for visa appointments back in India. Appointments దొరికినప్పుడు వీసా ఇంటర్వ్యూలో నీకు కౌన్సిలర్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ లో అప్రూవ్ అయింది. The reason for the NOID is basically or consular processing is previous employer H1 amendment apply చేయలేదు. So they pointed it on the NOID like without H1 amendment why you are working on.
Sure.
So if she goes into the consulate కి ఇంటర్వ్యూకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు if they ask specifically like hey what about this particular
they don't
H1 amendment చేయకుండా
there is already a question in the DS 160 form. When your sister fills out it, they will ask a question. Have you ever violated the status or unlawfully present in the country though? She should answer yes to that question, and she should say that the amendment was not filed by the employer properly. That should take care of the issue though. Don't wait for them to ask question. And when they ask question, were you out of status? She should answer with only one word that has 3 letters in it. It is YES. Nothing else. Don't explain. Don't do anything. They already know all the things. So if she is honest, she should be able to get the H1B visa.
Sir, as soon as consular processing approve avangane, she left the country, sir, actually. So is it still like she's out of status?
Still the answer is yes. Because if an amendment has not been filed and she worked, technically she violated the legal status. So this is exactly where people get into trouble. If you're honest with the consulate and be upfront, they will like the people. And they want simple answers, not complicated answers. And let me tell you one thing though. Even though the consulate spends only 30 seconds or 40 seconds with the applicant, they do all the groundwork before they come. So there are people in the, I've spoken with the people in the consulate. What they do is that they make everything ready for the consulate. They go through the 500 pages and they say, these are all the troublesome things that you need to ask the question. And if the applicant gives the answer which is in line with it, they like it. And if the applicant is trying to dodge the bullet though, that's where they get very offended and deny. So she needs to be upfront. I was out of status. And she has to look into the face and the officer, were you out of status? Yes, sir. She can say that. And that's when the consular feels she is honest, I'm going to give the approval. Now, she's technically still eligible to get the H1B visa, not a problem. So, but still, she needs to be honest and upfront. That is where I see some trouble with some of the applicants.
Got it.
They think consulates don't know the things in the 30 seconds, but they know much more. Thank you for tuning in.
That's true, Andy. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. And alage,
thanks, Sophie.
It's really informative. Thank you so much for calling, Andy. Also, you can tune into TV Asia on Dish Network, Sling, WorldBBT, alage YouTube and Facebook. And now, jumping on to the YouTube question, we have a YouTube question, Rahul Garu. It's from Reshma Pavaskar, and she says, since my EB2 priority date is May 2010, what documents and information or details should I be ready with for the next step in the GC process in case my priority date gets current starting in or after October 2020?
Good question, Sushma. Not much things are required to get the things ready. Typically, the only things that we see is a problem is the birth certificate, individuals and the marriage certificate. But even if the birth certificates are not accurate, sometimes in India, the letter is missing, the parents is missing, the name of the person is missing, you can get an affidavit that says that you have been born and here are the parents. If you want to create a article on it, if I don't have a birth certificate, what do I do? It's at rnlawgroup.com. You can search it with birth certificate, then you will get the details. So if you don't have it. But the rest of the information, how long does it take? I mean, we need the passport, we need passport pictures, we need the I-94, we need your mother's maiden name, we need your 5 years employment history. All these things can be accumulated in a period of only 1 day. I myself have gone through the adjustment of status application in United States, and I'm telling you, not much has changed from that time to this time. I do adjustment of status. So all these things can be done for the entire family within 1 day. There is some medical things that need to be done. It is an optional. You don't need to get the medical done. You can file without the medical. And so this medical cannot be obtained before. It has to obtain at the time when the adjustment of status becomes current. So you don't have to prepare very much. As long as you have the birth certificate, rest all the information. Do you know your date of birth? Do you have your I-94? If you don't, let me say, the lawyer can go online and get an I-94 for you on. So all those things can be done in one day. So just the birth certificates are enough for you to be prepared for adjustment of status in one day.
That's great, Andy. Thank you, Rahul Garu. So now let's move on to our next caller. Hello. Hello. Welcome to TV Asia
Hello.
Talk Show with Experts, TVASIA Telugu. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Andy?
బాగున్నానండి. నాకు ఒక క్వశ్చన్ ఉందండి రాహుల్ గారికి.
Yeah, Rahul Garu ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారండి. మీరు అడగొచ్చు and then it will be.
నేను యాక్చువల్గా H1B మీద ఉన్నాను. మా అబ్బాయి H4 మీద ఉన్నాడు. తను ఇప్పుడు F1 ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను, చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ స్టేటస్. సో మై క్వశ్చన్ ఈస్, సో ఇఫ్ హి గోస్ టు F1 and by any chance like a something change policy and my priority date comes now at current, can he be included in my green card, or do I need to change it back to H4 to include in the process?
If he is under 21, if he is under 21, you don't have to transfer back to H4 to be included in your application. Okay? There are also some exceptions for more than 21. That's called Child Protective Act. The time period of your I-140, how long did it take for your I-140 to be approved? Did your I-140 took approval for 6 months? That period of time will be deducted from your son's age. So you need to be careful on it. So when the priority date becomes current, I want you to consult a lawyer immediately to see if he's above 21 also. Sometimes they may be exempt based on the I-140, how long it took. That's the only thing. But if he's under 21 though, let me tell you one thing. Absolutely no question. You can file the adjustment of status. If he's above 21, you have to consult a lawyer. It has nothing to do with he's an F1. It just has to do with how long your I-140 has been pending. So it's completely safe for him to go to F1.
Yeah, that's what once my company lawyer said. Actually, I was just thinking about changing to F1. He said that, maybe when your current date comes, maybe you have to change it back to your H1 or H4.
No, sir. You don't have to change it back. We have done so many people on F1 directly to green card with their parents. Absolutely no problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling TVASIA Telugu, Andy. Thanks a lot. And also you can tune into our channel. We are on Dish Network, Sling, WorldBBTV, and YouTube and Facebook online channels. So alage, so this has been very, very informative, Rahul Garu. Like when you're speaking kuda naku ela anpistundante, like nothing is kontamandi ela untarante attorneys kuda, like when we go there, they have to like edaina question to gaani edaina case gurinchi gaani, they don't want to take up some cases. Like there is nothing called impossible, kadandi. Like if you think like it's not impossible, it will be impossible. Like the way you are giving so many tips and so many things how to process, I think there is a possibility for so many people. Like they have this so many hopes to get these things done, and it's amazing, Andy. So thank you, Rahul Garu, again. Ee roju aithe chala
It's also a lot of our TVASIA audiences are law-abiding citizens. Law-abiding people. They're always, wanting, they try to, especially the Telugu audiences and the TVASIA audiences, they're law-abiding citizens. I mean, these are not the people who are trying to violate the law, and that's the reason they're most probably in a safe position, though. So we have to give a kudos to them too.
Yes, thank you so much for them. And now let's jump on to our next caller. Hello, please press star and 6 to unmute your call, Andy. Welcome to Talk Show with Experts. Hello, can you hear us? One more caller we have here. Hello. Hi, welcome to Talk Show with Experts. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Sophia, and thanks all for this wonderful session. We have been being answered by many questions. Thanks for that. And my question is related to my H1B visa. My first H1 was approved on February 2020 this year, and this is under like consular processing. So currently I'm on F1 student visa. So
are you on day one? Are you on day one CPT?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So I just got to know recently few exemptions made on H1B. So yeah, so am I applicable for that? So maybe if I can go to consulate to get stamped my H1B visa.
Well, even if you're exempt from it, there are no visa appointments available until February of 21. Sorry.
Right.
So practically, why ask an exemption? Just go in. Right now, there are no appointments left. The first thing I would like you to do is that make an appointment in February of 2021. Don't wait, because you may lose this opportunity after you did. Okay. Then you can, now since the executive order is not applicable after January 1st, you don't have to request the exemption.
Mm-hmm. So that I can wait until consulate get open, right? So that's the only option.
The only thing is if the consulates have an appointment before December 31st, then you have to request the exemption. Otherwise, you don't have to.
All right. Yeah. And my second question is like maybe if I can request again for change of status again, like adjustment of status, something like.
That's going to be tough though, because the day one CPT, especially if you're going to Cumberland University or Campbellsville University or Harrisburg University. Now this statement is my own personal statement, not TVASIA's. If we are going to these three universities though, we do see the day one CPTs change of status getting denied very frequently. So if you're going again though, I don't think so it may be of any help. The reason is that one officer, the second officer has to overrule the previous officer. In this case, to overrule that the particular university names that I said, saying that they are legitimate universities, the way they are conducting is legitimate, is going to be very tough for the new officer. So I would not like to refile the H1B application and change of status for you.
All right. Thanks, Rahul.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you for calling TVASIA Telugu. Alage, we have a very big question now, Rahul Garu. The question is from Sandeep Desai. He says, hi, Rahul Garu. I have L1B valid September 2021 with I-140 approved in 2019 February and have approved H1B, and my wife is currently working with same employer like me on L2 EAD, which is valid until February 2021. My position in this company has changed from engineer to English. Manager, my attorney is recommending me to move to H1B and H4 and EAD now to avoid further delays. Question. First question would be, should we extend her EAD until September 2021? Second question would be, should we follow what my attorney is recommending?
Absolutely. I like your lawyer. The H4 plus H1 and H4 plus EAD is absolutely necessary because your fifth year H1B is expiring in 2021. So it's a very good option to move to H4 plus EAD. No reason to gamble around and try to make any chances. Though you have been moved into manager position though, EB1C is a very risky option. You can try it, but I would not want you to wait for a moment. I would want you to file change of status to H1 and also your wife to H4 plus EAD immediately. Don't delay it. Don't wait until the end. We don't know what's going to happen. You have an I-140 approval, so you are definitely eligible for a 3 years H1B, and you already told me that your H1B is already counted in the lottery. So absolutely no reason to wait, file for the H4 plus EAD immediately. H1B and H4 plus EAD.
That's really great, Andy. Rahul Garu, thank you so much. And we have another person who is like, it's an online question. Santosh Sankepalli Garu is asking, my first H1B approved on February 2020 under consular processing. And currently I'm on F1 student visa and I got to know few exemptions made for H1Bs. Am I applicable? If yes, can I travel?
I think so. It's the same person we just answered 2 minutes ago.
Is
that, yeah.
Yeah.
There are no appointments available right now. So why choose the exemptions? Even if you get the exemption, there's no appointment. So I would choose to not go for exemptions. Just try to get the February appointments that are left out right now. And then if any opening comes in, I will try to look into the exemptions. Otherwise, I will not go with the exemption, just go for the February appointments.
That's amazing, Andy. Now, let's take our next caller. Hello. Please press star and 6 to unmute your call, Andy. Welcome to TVASIA Telugu, talk show with experts. Hello. So, andaru star 6 na kuda marchipotunnaranamata. So, before that, before the caller unmutes, I have another question, Andy. H4 EAD, any process to expedite cases? Rahul?
There is a litigation process that our office has been contemplating right now. If anybody wants, they can contact though. Otherwise, people can try the congressional inquiries. That's one thing. That is called ombudsman that you can go online. USCIS ombudsman. There's also, you can request an expedited processing online with USCIS. All these three things have been failing very significantly because almost 100,000 people are trying it every single day with all these three different methods. Court litigation is one thing that you may want to consider it to get the H4 EAD. And you know, some of the law firms have made it more simpler, more easier, and not that costly to do that. That's one thing that you may want to consider too. But the other options that are there, what I said, three options you can try your luck on that. There has been a big failure, but you can try. One is ombudsman. You type USCIS ombudsman and you have an application, you can fill it out. You can contact your congressman, and also you can go to USCIS and request expedited processing.
That's amazing, Rahul Garu. We have one last question. I know we are keeping you up, and thank you so much. Like,
sure.
Inni questions we answered just now. I'm so very happy. Today's show is very informative and I'm enjoying it. And manaku last question vachesi 𝗪𝗓 D'Souza. She want to ask, like, can the H1B employer's lawyer only file for H4, or can I get any external lawyer in USA for filing H4? What is the process for getting H4 on our own without troubling the company lawyer? We can close after this question. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm waiting too much.
That's it. That's not his. Normally, it's better to have the company lawyer file the H4 rather than you filing a H4 separately. The number one reason is that when it gets segregated, it takes a little bit longer time for the H4 to be adjudicated. So that's the reason why I would recommend. But can you do with an external lawyer without going through your company lawyer? The answer is yes, you can. Absolutely no problem with it. H4 is your individual application. H1 cannot be done by yourself, but H4 can be done by yourself or your individual lawyer.
That's amazing, Andy. Thank you so much. So that was a really creative. Nannu adigithe chaala నాకు personal గా చాలా questions, information వచ్చాయండి రాహుల్ గారు. I can't wait for the next show with you, and it's so informative. And I think that's it for today. Thank you for tuning into TVASIA Telugu and Talk Show with Experts. And see you next week, Sunday, the same time, 4 p.m. And Rahul Garu, you want to give any message to our callers and everybody?
Thank you very much. Keep tuning in every week. We are going to update everything, what you need to do if you are in a business immigration, especially H1, H4, L1 visas. This is a channel you need to tune in to get any updates, and also F1 visas. Thank you very much, TVASIA.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.